channel here over at SubScribestar, now over at Odyssey, thanks to the 18 new members over there. So She-Hulk star angry over being cut out of Deadpool and Wolverine. Oh, and Trump and Elon Musk going to be talking on Twitter tonight, which I suppose dates the video about C'est La Vie. So there's a mediocre movie that came out, this Deadpool Part 3. And it's done pretty well. I think it's set to cross $1 billion mark because everything else has just been such crap. It's not. It's like it's a milquetoast movie, that's being fair. Everything else has just been the same woke globalist propaganda about strong black gay women and evil blonde Hugo Boss man bad. And it just flat out has not been selling. It's not just me saying this. You can look at the past 5 years of what they've been trying to push. Trump derangement syndrome 2016 had a lot to do with it. And then the 2020 Summers of Peace and Harmony, Human Kindness Day, go look that up on YouTube, had it kind of was the final nail in the coffin. So the first I think was Wonder Woman 84, and you watch the first few minutes of that and it's just, you guys really are pushing this diversity stuff even to the point where it doesn't make any sense. You're on some little island, it's supposed to be one group of people, and it looks like a Larry Fink checklist. Anyway, this that stuff is not, and they just keep following it up with just this feminism, diversity, and girl boss. Yeah, nobody's into that. That stuff is just, that is cancer. Oh, you can't say that. More people need to say that. What absolute other words, cancer is the one I'm limited to on YouTube. If more people said that, it would change the narrative around this stuff. But they're making this stuff, it's not selling, and they keep making it. What does that tell you? Oh, it sounds like a cult. Yes it is. Cult of Saturn. So Ryan Reynolds comes out and says he wants to handle Deadpool 3 and actually have a successful film. And because he knew what was on the horizon for Deadpool versus Wolverine. It would just be more of the same Disney Marvel garbage that has not been selling. And he wanted to actually have something that connected with an audience and made some money, as this movie is going to do. And apparently he had to fight Disney over it, but it's a good thing he did. And he's got some power in Hollywood because he is the character, and it's the third movie, because he was successful. He made a fun, simple movie. Ugh, that's just nasty. And it was a weird movie. You don't have to see it by any means, but if you do see it, you'll watch it and you go, oh yeah, I know what you mean when you call it weird. It broke the fourth wall to the extent it did, but that only works once. Everything it did in the movie feels like it only works once. And if you watch the movie, watch it once. Don't ask too many questions about it. And be like, oh, it was fun. It was, it was worth watching. It feels like Disney's kind of going back on the right track. And don't watch it again, otherwise you'll start asking questions about it. It felt like for a lot of the, it felt like for this current political climate, it was as good a movie as could be made. And that's good enough for where Hollywood is right now. And it's not just Disney, it's Hollywood in total. I think he could have leaned harder into crapping on SJWs, but like obviously I think that he could have just, poked the diabetic bear a little bit more and see what happens. But the movie was more of a direction for movies to go in, like a transition movie, and it did that pretty well. It was like changing tempo in a song to go to the bridge. But the thing is, Hollywood is just going to leave that vibe, that potential vibe change hanging. They're not going to pick up the ball and run with it. He's trying to pass this on to Hollywood and go like, all you have to do is just keep going in this direction. And it's like Hollywood just watches the ball roll by their feet and calls it racist, and then they stab it and wear it like a flesh suit. So the movie honestly wasn't great. It's like just go in this direction and Hollywood can turn things around, but they won't. And you're sexist, sexy, and istophobic for wanting good movies. Disney is going to go right back to monkeypox and AIDS because they don't care about good movies. They don't even care about making money. They care about the message. They're only there to do blow and push anti-white racism and whatever the soup du jour of their message is. Anyway, so let's get back to this This Tatiana Mosley. Anyway, last year or so, the obese cat ladies and 400-pound soy pussies decided to make She-Hulk sort of in name only, because the comic, at least some of the iterations of the comic, were very cute. That and then recently Marvel turned it into an abomination, where it was the Hulk with a bra, and it went from this beautifully drawn character to the Hulk in a bra. It was horrible. Anyway, so they decided to make it kind of a name only. They had the chance to make Ally McBeal, and they just couldn't do it. They just couldn't put down the bullshit sodomy and make it a fun show. So the whole thing was painfully unwatchable. And there was a scene where she breaks the fourth wall to go to the writer's room, and it looks like a room full of fat diversity hires who think the patriarchy is out to get them. They looked exactly like you suspected they would look, and you could smell them through the screen. Like they just got hired because they could check the BlackRock boxes. They were very big on body acceptance, and you shouldn't be. We actually absolutely need to bring back publicly heckling people for the way they look. It makes it, society needs some structure to it. Otherwise, looks around at current Weimar, you get what you get now. It seems like a society without rude people turns everyone into pussies. Anyway, the show was all girl power nonsense. I mean, even in the first 5 minutes of the show, it was a blonde man walks in the office and he's kind of clueless and stupid, and the women have to stop and handle him. It's like, oh, he set the tone right there in the first 5 minutes. Anyway, the show was girl power, and like, that's all cancer. Feminism, diversity, it's cancer. Just keep saying that to people. They had an audience of Mary Sue types, which is not the people who bought comic books. And you would have had, all you had to do was go in the Ally McBeal direction, and you would have had a huge hit on your hand. But it's like, no, we're going to snatch defeat from the mouths of victory. And there are a few scenes that stuck with me. There seemed to be an Elon Musk character with a bunch of cliche frat guys. I mean, it's like they think they're deconstructing something from the 80s, and it's like 20 years too late. That's how out of touch the SJW writers are. So the whole thing was, if the dorky backbiting pussies with high school grievances had heard of the comic, and they thought that the show was a perfect opportunity to get revenge over all the kids who called them fat in high school or picked them last for sports or whatever. So their logic is that kids reading comics are the cool kids, which, I mean, in their mind, but it's bizarre. But she actually said something like that in an interview. She wanted to crap all over the male fans of the comics, and people who are even female comics, it's still going to be 90% of men who are buying them. And she did. The show was trash, but like, how is that winning? The goal isn't to own the imaginary Chad Thundercocks. The goal is to have a show so good that people sign up to Disney Plus. That's the point. You're selling Disney Plus subscriptions. They seem to have lost the plot, and they failed. But these people are also insane, so not much of what they do makes sense. And the YouTube channels that made money crapping on the show made more than the show, because the show lost money. So congratulations on insulting the audience, losing money, and not getting a second series. Though some people were talking that they might just do it anyway, just to have a second show to keep her around, even if nobody watches it. And it's like, that's how effing weird Disney is. And there's another scene where she and the Daredevil are dating, but they're both like 40, and the parents are hinting that they want grandkids. And I mean, she looks great, but she's old. Why are you pushing a narrative of geriatric pregnancies? And it's like, well, if you understand Disney, and there's a holy shit, there's such a big picture. If only we had free speech on YouTube. I mean, it's kind of a difficult conundrum, because YouTube is like this super pop culture stuff, and then if you go to Rumble, you can say a little bit more. If you go to Odyssey, you can like deconstruct what's actually going on with Hollywood. But I don't know if the audience wants that middle ground. It's like platforms are suited to certain audiences, and there is not a platform that exists yet. It'd be like Rumble with free speech, but it's just not there, because Odyssey is more like really further out there type of stuff. Anyway, so they're like these two 40-year-olds sitting around, and the parents are saying they want grandkids, and so that they're pushing that narrative of old people having kids. And Like, you should have got a 22-year-old girl to play the role. That scene was just too obvious. It's anti-natal propaganda to lower birth rates as much as possible for certain groups of they send out a message and you go, oh, but they're sending out this message to everyone. Yes, but the receptive audience has antenna tuned to certain frequencies, and some are tuned to it and some aren't. It sounds a little tinfoil hat, I know. Anyway, the show didn't leave a positive taste in anyone's mouth. And then the actress, the 40-year-old single cat lady, does an interview and says stuff about, I'm mentioning her age because she doesn't have kids, but she does this interview where she tells parents how to raise their kids. It's fucking insane. She says this something like the state makes better parents than the actual biological parents, and they should use kids' Frankfurt School globalist pronoun nonsense, and it is nonsense, and sterilize the kids because children are ready to make long-term decisions because we live in effing clown world. And Deadpool 3 had a bunch of cameos, and that aspect worked very well. But the best part was probably just a 30-second bit with Henry Cavill. They should have had him a little bit more. And it's great to see old characters. And they Channing Tatum, I guess, was in that one. And they want to. He says he wants to come back and do something with that character. It's like, by all means, go for it. But they won't because he's simply the wrong ethnicity. And they shot 2 scenes with Tatiana, Mosley as She-Hulk, and Ryan Reynolds wisely cut the scenes out because he wanted a certain vibe of the old characters. And these, he had some women in there, but they fit. Elektra, I think, and that other chick, the twin of what's his face. Where She-Hulk, not the comic version, but this Marxist version is feminist PMS cancer, and it doesn't work. It's very hard to sell a strong female character like that, especially when you already have access to a CGI Hulk, as they put in for a bit. This PMS Hulk version has got way too much baggage, and congratulations to Ryan Reynolds. Where's the other image of her? There's an image of her dancing. Did I show that already? Maybe not. Her and some rap musician, and they're dancing. It's just absolute fucking cringe. The thing is, she wasn't popular, is what I'm trying to say, and she brings a lot of baggage to the show, and honestly, there were a few other scenes that the movie could have also cut. The relationship stuff that made him look a little soft, and there were some flashbacks. If you cut 10 minutes out, I think the film would have improved. But like I said, the movie was interesting because it's like somebody's shifting gears into 4-wheel low so we can get through the mud, and all Marvel has to do is keep driving. But they're gonna get in the car, go back to 2-wheel drive, and slide all over the road because they don't want to make fun, simple movies like this. I mean, this is the perfect image of the fun, simple. It's based on comic book characters. We don't need all this Saul Alinsky globalist soup of the day Marxist propaganda. It's people are just not into it, and the economics show it. They're not paying to see these movies. Anyway, so she did 2 stupid scenes that probably would have been like just vagina power. And they got cut. And the problem is that people are being conditioned to have a knee-jerk reaction with woke, where if you see certain elements, we just know it's not worth watching. It's why the Marvels and Madam Web bombed back-to-back, because woke, girl power, diversity doesn't sell. So if you just see a girl, a female, or diverse, you know it's going to be cancer. And it's like you can accurately say that because it's like 99% of the stuff is treated as a Mary Sue type of characters. That wasn't in Deadpool versus Wolverine, but like I said, this is going to be the exception, not the rule, and they're not going to follow this up with this kind of stuff, this kind of fun, simple movies. I will say Hugh Jackman did a great job because he actually felt like the actor, and he was bringing a serious note to the movie, and he kind of tied it all together to make it. Otherwise, it would have been just too ridiculous with fourth wall stuff, and he acted like he was actually acting in the movie. He did a great job. The thing is, you can let the SJWs watch Black Girl Magic, but we absolutely don't even want to go sail the high seas to see it. It's just not worth it. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. See you guys over at SubScribeStar.